It is every giant's dream to become the sun god and rule the world, such that it causes a lot of conflict among the giants, resulting in infights since many disagree on what the actual sun god even is. Loki, however, believes this myth more than any other giant since he considers himself the strongest of them all. And to be honest, he might just be right. I mean, think about it. The guy alone fought against the entirety of the giant pirates to the point they needed Shanks' help to finally capture him. But what makes the sun god even more interesting is what the people believe him to be, as some view him as the god of liberation while others think he's the god of destruction, which also kind of makes sense considering all the destruction Luffy has caused throughout his adventures in the process of liberating people. So yeah, that checks out. With Nika being the harbinger of change, some people are liberated in the process, others are destroyed. To free prisoners, you have to destroy the guards, right? Meaning both can be true at the same time. However, Ja Rule gives further light into why there is a confusion on what Nika represents through the Elbaf myth called Harley, which no one knows how to translate properly due to its ancient nature. So there are multiple interpretations of it, and according to this myth, the world has been destroyed twice already. We may already know when one of these catastrophes took place, that being during the Void Century, as Vegapunk also revealed the same thing, that the world has been submerged into the ocean and what we have right now is just the tip of the iceberg. And with everyone making their move and the ancient weapons being targeted by various factors, it's possible the third major catastrophe isn't that far off. Maybe the final war would introduce this event where Luffy and his allies would have to put a stop to this catastrophe. Also, the Void Century was definitely the last time this destruction happened, because for it to happen, Nika needs to be there. And we know that the Nika fruit hasn't been wielded by another since the time of Joy Boy. What about the first time the world was destroyed? Well, this must have happened way before Joy Boy's time, likely during the Age of Heaven. This era happened over 1500 years ago. We learn of this time when Robin was reading the poneglyphs in Alabasta. I theorize that the Age of Heaven started when all the different races we see in the One Piece planet evacuated their moons. After all, if I saw hundreds of those winged creatures descending from the sky, some of them even having halos, then I'd probably think they were from heaven as well. Hence the name of the era being called the Age of Heaven. Not only that, but the Lunarians used to be known as a kingdom of gods which existed on the Red Line before Marishua was constructed. The people from the moon found new homes on either the Red Line or on the Sky Islands, and just like Luffy had, the humanity below them would see their shadows and think of them as deities existing above them, and so the era became known as the Age of Heaven. This would be that world-changing event, right, where the old planet way of its native races was destroyed and a new influx of moon culture and races was thrust upon the planet. After this era came the Age of the Sea Circle, which the current calendar of One Piece is based on over 1500 years ago, which fits perfectly with around the 700 to 800 year cycle the world seems to change in. Ja Rule continues revealing more as we see the original Sun God Nika silhouette, who has long curly white hair along with white clouds floating around the head, similar to Luffy's Gear 5 look. This version of Nika isn't the same as the Nika we are familiar with though, as his clothing seems to be a loincloth similar to what the ancient Greeks used to wear. Plus, bro has a shield while we have only ever seen Nika wielding a spear before. Looking at this discrepancy, there might be a link to ancient Mayan mythology here. There is a pretty popular One Piece theory in the community that Joy Boy and Imu might have been brothers or twins, and we know Joy Boy is the Nika with the spear. So what if Imu is the Nika with the shield? It also explains why the giants view Nika as being both a liberator and a destroyer. What if Nika is actually two people? This is similar to the Mayan story of the hero twins Hamfu and Zabliki, who, I don't know, I have no idea how to even say these words, but these guys were semi-divine humans that embarked on countless adventures together, whose stories mainly serve as symbols for addressing themes of death, rebirth, and cosmic balance. They both symbolize duality and complement each other when it comes to life or death or light and dark, as they show a cycle of the sun and the moon often being at the tip of balance in nature, which is what Joy Boy and Imu's War 800 years ago also addresses. Regardless, if the sun god is a hero or a destroyer, he also appears when the world is about to change. This is also a throwback to Madame Charlie's prediction that Luffy is going to be the one to destroy Fishman Island, but for a different reason, as we in the community believe that the destruction of Fishman Island would finally allow allow the fishmen and merfolk to be saved by Noah when they can finally live in peace under the sun in the surface, fulfilling Joy Boy's promise from 800 years ago. This is the entire reason why people in power such as the Gorosei and the world government are afraid of the sun god fruit, as just by revealing itself shows that a great change is about to take place in the world. However, Luffy finally learns about Nika and remembers all the stuff Bonnie was talking about. He understands what everyone was referring to, including both Dory and Broggy, who called him the sun god. But Luffy being Luffy, he says he's got nothing to do with the sun god.